why I believe female leadership is needed. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So there's been a lot of study out there about female leadership. Why do we need it? I know a lot of organizations are male heavy and they sit there and go, well, we just want the best producers and whatnot. And there's been an uprising of how come we don't have enough female leadership? And unfortunately, we have two aspects to that. The first aspect is why do we not have enough? But the other aspect of getting people in leadership positions, are we maybe overlooking good candidates for checking a box? Well, I want to talk about the fact that we do need female leadership. And there's reasons for that because, like I've talked about in previous videos, there's three things we need to have to be a really successful leader. We need to have trust, we need to have influence, and we need to be able to communicate. Now here's the deal, women actually check a lot of these boxes because that's just how they're wired. They're wired to be engaging and have talks and conversations with other people. They're just wired better than men for that in most circumstances. Now, there's other categories that men are better at some things that women, in most cases. I'm not saying all, because you have some dynamic women leaders, you have some poor male leaders, but you have the others as well, okay? Any leader that's in a power trip is going to be a bad leader. But let's talk about why females bring a lot of tools to the table to this. So let's talk about the trust aspect. So women are more engaging, they're more relational, right? And here's the deal, in leadership and in building trust, you got to be relational. You got to be looking into the people that you're serving as a leader, like servant leadership. You got to be asking the questions. What can I do to serve them better as a leader? How can I support them? How can I make them successful as well? That's what leaders do, right? They build all the people up around them so that they can be successful, because the more people are built up around us, the more successful and faster the organization runs. And when speed goes up, costs go down, or profits. So women being in leadership positions is fantastic because, again, the relational part, they can build trust faster because they know how to engage people in an open, honest conversation. They can go through the trust things. They hit all the variables very well, where men sometimes lack the vulnerability part. Women embrace vulnerability. That's part of their core. They're great at discussing those topics, where most men sit there shy away thinking vulnerability just means me open for attack. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case, and women do this fantastically. One of my favorite managers ever, her name was Lisa. She was a fantastic leader, and the organization kind of kept her from growing, where she should have been a VP by the time I met with her, because she was fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about the second one, the influence aspect. Well, the influence aspect kind of goes hand in hand with trust. If you have no trust, you have no influence. And you got to have high levels of influence with people, or else we're not going anywhere with anybody. You know, John Maxwell, the leadership guru of the 21st century, basically sums it up as leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. So you got to be able to build influence. Well, influence is also a relational aspect. You got to be able to build relationships to build influence. And that's why I wrote the book, The Sales Process Uncovered. It teaches you how to build influence. Because in sales, the more influence you have, the more sales you make. That's right. You got to be able to build influence, and you got to be able to walk through it. So that's why I created that book and my sales trainings and all that stuff. But women are fantastic because, again, that relational aspect, they can build influence faster. So they're phenomenal at that. That's a good aspect. You got to have that ability to influence people. And then the third thing is communication. Women care. They care about the people that they are working with. They are just more caring for the most part. So they communicate better. they don't try to look smarter and have these $100 words. They actually use common language and break down complex topics and make it a simple thing to understand. Yeah, that's right. Women can do that better because men, we have this ego where we want to actually seem smarter. Well, if you can't break down a complex topic and make it easy so like a middle schooler can understand it, you're really not that smart. Yeah, it's counterintuitive. But women do a fantastic job at this. So we definitely need to have females in leadership. They also give a different perspective on how to treat people. I believe women in leadership will actually be able to raise engagement. Because as of studies of right now, about 70% are somewhat disengaged. That's failing in my book, right? So we need to have female leadership there. And we have all of the people around us to make us better in our top leaders and whatnot. We gotta have female leaders because they are dynamic and they will support the organization and make the employees feel valued. So, if you have any more questions about this and leadership topics and sales and all that stuff, feel free to reach out. Contact information's below. Take you to my website, my email, all that stuff. Easy ways to get a hold of me. If this video was helpful, hit like, share, subscribe, send to somebody you think it might benefit. That's why I do these videos, to help you. We'll see you next time.